Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and as promised today I'm going to show you all the Tablemate gifts that I made to take with me to OnStage. That way when I sit down to lunch, or if I sit down to a class, or presentation, I'll just, the guy next to me, I should say the lady next to me, or maybe it's a guy, you never know, I'll have a little gift for them. This is one of the things I really like to do. So I came up, I got this idea off of, I think it was probably Pinterest or YouTube, TikTok, who knows where I got it from, but really cute idea, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So I'm not going to show you the product, I'm not going to tell you what it is, it'll all be a surprise at the end, and I hope you really enjoy this. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. We need to start cutting first of all. So I have a window sheet here, and I'm going to take it. It's 12 inches long, all of that part doesn't matter, it's just what I'm using. And I'm going to cut it down to 2 inches here. So this is going to be 2 by 12. We have our window sheet, and then I'm going to grab a little piece of designer series paper. Now this is 12 inches also, and I'm going to cut it down to 3/8 of an inch. So 3/8 is just between 1/4 and 1/2. So a little tiny strip of paper here, and we need 2 of those. So there's one, and now let's cut the other one right here between 1/2 and 3/4. Is that what I said the first time? Sometimes I don't say the right measurements. Try to get it straight. Okay, and I didn't even hear. I'll put it so maybe you can see it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's 3/8 inch by 12, and I have 2 of them, and I have my window sheet here. Now I'm gonna pull in here my silicone mat. I don't even know where I got this. I think it's for cooking, but it works really well with something to make this project. Trust me, I've made a lot of these, a lot. And maybe I shouldn't tell you how many I made. I probably made way too many, but I won't have to worry about if I have enough to give one to everybody. Well, maybe not everybody there, but all my new friends. Okay, so now I have tear and tape, and I'm gonna just put a strip of tear and tape along the top of that window sheet here. All 12 inches. I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom. And I think that silicone mat makes it so you can actually see my window sheet. Okay, so there, now we have a strip at the top, a strip at the bottom. We're gonna take that backing off. Well, I'm gonna do the top one first. I think it's just easier to get that. Well, there we go. So now we're gonna cover this with the designer series paper. And I'm gonna try to get it right here at the edge and flush with that window sheet. There we go. Let's do the same thing to this side. Okay, now we're in good shape. And really, you can get 16 of my little projects out of this 2 inches by 12 inches of window sheet, but I'm only gonna make 7. I'm gonna try to even make 7 on camera. Okay, so we have a piece that looks like this. Now you can actually find your window sheet too. That's kind of nice. But now I need to cut them into 3/4 inch strips. So really, it's 3/4 inch by 2. And let's just cut 7 of them, and then I'll cut the rest of them because I have 12 more to make. But I'm just gonna cut 7 just for video. It won't take too long here. 3. This, when you do it this way, because before, when I first made my first ones, I cut my little window sheets into little strips like this that were 2 inches by 3/4. Then I cut all my designer series paper and put them on with tear and tape just like that. But this way, unless you don't want to make a bunch of them, this way is so much faster by just doing the 12 inches and covering them, and then your edges are perfect, and it turned out really nice. So this is the way I suggest you do it. But if you only want to make a couple, you could just cut your window sheets and cut your designer series paper and then put them together that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. I think I need one more. There, now there's 7. And like I said, the rest of these I'll put together off video so you don't have to watch me. Okay, then we have our binder clips here, and I bought them in boxes of 12. They were fairly inexpensive, so my little Tablemate gifts won't cost a lot, but you won't even know that. Let's count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll make those later, because now starts the fun stuff. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit as I make these. Where's my clothespins? Here they are. When I first started making these, I put the window sheet onto the binder clip with tear and tape. And it worked for a while, but then like later on the evening and then the next morning, all of them had popped off. So then I took another sheet of tear and tape and I put it on there, and they lasted a little bit longer, but the tear and tape didn't hold them as long, well, forever, and that's what I wanted. They kept popping off. They were like little mouse traps. You'd be sitting there and all of a sudden one of them would just pop off my window sheet from my little binder clip. So then I thought, okay, let's try something different. So then I tried the liquid glue, you know, the green glue trick where you smear it on there and then you let it dry and then it becomes really sticky. And so I tried window sheet with, liquid glue with tear and tape. And that worked for, no, that didn't work at all. They popped off right away. That never worked. So, okay, I went to the next thing. Because the TikTok video that I saw this from, this wasn't my idea. I stole this, or I cased it, I guess you'd say, not stole. I flattered somebody by making their project. She used hot glue, so I tried hot glue. Well, that stuck for a little while, then pretty soon there goes the mousetrap and they all popped off again. I tried E6000, but I think the tip of the applicator was too big. It made a huge mess. I ended up throwing that one away. But the moral of my story is I've tried several adhesives to get my window sheet to stick to my binder clip. And what I've come up with, the best way to do it, or at least the best glue that I've found, I just, oh wait, I have some glue here, some extra that I don't want. I'm going to choose a scrap of paper. I don't want to glue my clothespin to my binder clip. And so far through this whole process, I have not glued my finger to the binder clip. I have not glued a clothespin to the binder clip. I've glued nothing but window sheets to the binder clip. But okay, so what I was getting at is the best glue that I found. I just searched Amazon for a metal glue and came up with this Aleene's jewelry and metal glue, and this works. I haven't had any mousetrap issues, is what I'm going to call them, because they don't pop off anymore. They just stay. And I try to put my glue toward the center, and then that way it doesn't, is ooze out a good word? It doesn't ooze out the side. So a little bit in there, and then like I do, I just take my clothespin here and hold that window sheet into place like this. Now, if I could wrap it around and do it to the other side, but my clothespin doesn't fit, so we have to just do one side at a time, which I think I have figured out for the video. We can make this nice and smooth instead of making it too long. And I, like I said, have made a bunch of these, so I'm getting pretty fast at it, so it won't take too long as you sit here and watch. Oh, I got too much glue on that one too. Hang on, you got to just wipe off a little bit off the edge here. But here we go. Okay, and I hope you're wondering, what on earth are you making, Kathy? But I think in the long run, you're going to be like, you did good, that's adorable. Okay, we only have a couple more, it won't take too long. And then we're going to make some embellishments for. And I think, here's a little story for you. I think the reason that I like to make little gifts like this for people, growing up, I blame my mother. Growing up, we never bought Valentine's. I was just thinking the other day, why do I like to make everything like this? But my mother, ever since I can remember, we never bought Valentine's. I always had to make my Valentine's, which, first of all, I like crafting, so that always works. Even from when I was a small child, like 3rd grade, I remember wrapping construction paper around a toilet paper roll and folding up a like an accordion worm and having that pop out. It's just funny, some of the different things that we made for Valentine's. Now, I remember also having a classmate ask me if I made my Valentine, and yes, I was all happy. I made my Valentine, look how proud. And then he asked me, he said, "Are you poor? Can't you just buy them?" And at the time, I never thought about maybe it was because we were poor, and that's why my mother had me make Valentines. But it didn't matter. I was so proud. My Valentines were always different. I enjoyed making them. It was time with my mom. So maybe that's why I enjoy doing stuff like this. It brings back memories of me and my mom working together. Plus, I love giving things to people, and I need small little things so I can give a ton of them away. Okay, long story. Here we go. I'm going to set these aside and let these dry for just a few seconds while we make the embellishment. So I searched again on Stampin' Up, and found a die that cuts out 7 little flowers at a time. And it just so happens it's that fragrant layers. You've seen me use this in my videos before. Love this die set, happen to have it. Yes, victory. So we can cut out 7 little flowers, which is why we're making 7 at one time. So quickly here, I'll bring in, I got my little die cut machine. Plate number 1, cutting plate number 2. Throw my paper on there, put my little flowers on there, and we can cut out 7 at a time. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick while we're waiting for our glue to dry. So here's 7 little flowers. But if you have a die like this and your die, especially when you're trying to come up with a bunch of them, you can't get the paper out of your die. Let's grab my pokey tool here. I'll show you a little trick. And it's not, some people seem to think it's because the die has become dull, and it's not dull. There's no blade on there. It doesn't have a blade, it's just that metal piece. I think it gets dirty, maybe. I don't know. But let me show you how you can, I can't pick up that little flower. Probably because it's on my silicone sheet. Okay, let me show you how you can fix that problem. So I have my plates here. I'm going to just take a piece of wax paper. Doesn't need much. I guess I'll fold it in half since it's pretty big. I want to tear this off so we have room to get it through the die cut machine. So you take your paper, your cardstock, and then you lay your wax paper on top of that, and then you lay your die on top of your wax paper. So there's my sandwiches, my cutting plate, my cardstock, wax paper, and then my dies. And we'll run that through the machine. And then after this, then your die or your paper comes right out of your dies. The first time you kind of have to peel off that wax paper, but even the second time with no wax paper, it still comes off so much better. So look, all of those dies didn't stick. Nope, all that cardstock or flowers didn't stick to my dies anymore. Let me put my die away so I don't misplace that. The hard part, this part, is just getting that wax paper off the flowers the first time. But now if you ran it through again, the paper would come out of your dies so much better just by that one little trick of using wax paper with your dies. So I hope that helps a little bit. Well, I'm not going to worry because now there's a coating of wax paper here on my flowers, which isn't hard to get off, but that way, so you, oh, that's right, it's double. So you know, where'd my trash can go? There's. If you ever need to do that with your dies, it makes them all like new again. Because you know, when you first get your dies, your paper pops right out. And then after a lot of use, and like I said, I've used this one quite a bit, you kind of have some trouble sometimes. Okay, here's my 7 flowers. I have just a roll of glue dots here, and I'm gonna kind of unroll a little bit and just stick my flowers onto my glue dots. Well, all thumbs. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna succeed because I am persistent to get my flowers onto my glue dots. Hey, so I see a couple people on here watching, and thank you. I appreciate you. bearing with me my silliness as I try to make my stuff here on video. Okay, one more, and then there's our 7 little flowers. Okay, I'm going to just take my paper snips here and trim. So now I have my flowers all ready. We need to put an embellishment in the center of our flowers. I just found some gems that were all nice colors. Doesn't matter, they all work. And I'm going to just pop a little embellishment in the center. All my flowers. Now tell me those aren't adorable. It's a really cute flower that die cuts out, and it works really nice because I got 7 at a time. Okay, one more little petunia pop here in the center. All 3 sizes work, all 3 colors work. I like those embellishments. And just if you're curious, these are the 2024-2026 in colors, which I'm really sad to say are on their way out. Okay, so we have our embellishments already. Our little things should be dry enough. Now the manufacturer, the instructions say it takes 24 hours, but I've noticed that it's probably not completely dry, but it's sticky enough that if I take my clothespins off here, they won't mousetrap on me or pop off. So I'm going to take a little bit more glue here, and we're going to glue on the other side. I'll tell you what too, if you happen to get some glue on your fingers, and this to me is a lot like super glue, so if you get some glue on your fingers, all you got to do is go do the dishes. That warm soapy water doesn't take the glue off easy. Oh, there's the mouse trap. Did you see it? I didn't have my clothespin on there. Hold on. I hate when that happens too, because then it flings that glue around. There, maybe you can get it hold better. That was a very good example of a mouse trap, or at least what I call the mouse trap when they pop off. There we go. So now we have the other side. Let me glue these other 6 real quick. Won't take very long. But I just take this side, take those clothespins from this side of the binder clip, move it to this side, and like I said, if we had more room in the binder clip, we could do both sides, both sides at the same time, but there's not enough room in the binder clip. Okay, we're moving right along here. I think the reason too that I tried that Aleene's glue, the metal glue from Aleene's, is growing up we use the tacky glue. Did you guys ever use tacky glue on your art projects? And that's Alene too. But I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, I don't know, after I found the Aleene's glue I didn't try any other glues, but I wonder if any super glue would work. But look at how big my tube is. It's gonna last forever, and it was like less than $5 for the whole tube. And I've been using it for a couple weeks now, because that's one of my pet peeves about liquid glue or super glue, is it dries out, and by the time you go to use it again, either the lid is like glued to the bottle and you can't get it off, or the tip is so clogged you can't use it again, or maybe it's all dried up. I don't know. But this one, so far, this one's worked really nice. Here, I have the packaging if this helps, just in case you're interested. But I've been very happy with this glue. And like I said, it works. No more mouse traps. They don't pop off anymore. So then I feel confident giving him out as a little gift. I'd hate to give a gift that doesn't work. Okay, we're almost done. Then all we have to do is add the little embellishment. And then I will do a demonstration. Whoop, hold on this one. Oh, and look, this one must not have been dry on the other side. Now I lied and he popped off. Although, look, I didn't get very much glue on there. I think I'll have to add some more glue to that other side of that one, because none of the rest one had that problem. Just him. And I do feel some liquid, or some, glue on my finger here, so I'll have to go do the dishes now. Get that glue off. But that warm, soapy water helps a lot. You might have to, like, pick at it a little bit and scrub it a little bit, too. There, this one didn't pop off. All right, when this one dries on this side, I'll go glue this side. We'll finish that one later. Along with, oh, now I want to take another Post-it note, and I'm going to clean the tip. And I just used a Post-it note because that's what's handy. There, clean that tip of the glue, put that back on, stick that back here. Okay, let's just add our little embellishment. Take our little flower here. And now I made sure when I put the flower, there's kind of this little lip on the binder clip, and I made sure that I put it under that little lip, so that way when you open the binder clip, it doesn't mess with your flower. Okay, hang on, I'm going to hurry and put these on my little things, and then I'll show you what you use a binder clip wrapped with some window sheet, decorated with some designer series paper, what you would use that for. This is another thing, so if you're going to OnStage, which is like Stampin' Up's convention, I think I heard a rumor there's supposed to be 5,000 of us demonstrators there, which sounds like a lot of fun. I should meet a lot of new people. I should learn a lot of stuff. I'll totally be inspired, because that's the whole reason I go to OnStage by Stampin' Up, is so I can learn and be inspired. Okay, there we go. So there's 6 of them. Like I said, that 7th one I'll have to finish later. But so what do you do with your little binder clip? Well, you take your notebook. Get these out of the way. Take your notebook. Now this one, I did do a few of them that didn't have the flower, because I thought if you run into a man, I don't know, maybe they don't like flowers. Maybe they don't want a sissy flower on there. But look how cute. I just used these little faux bronze pentagons and put that on there. I think that looks very good. It's still classy. Even on my notebook, it's going to look good, and I'm not a man. I guess that makes me kind of, I don't know what that makes me. Hopefully not too bad. But look, you take your little binder clip. It still works, making sure that your little flower doesn't mess with the mechanism. But you put it on your notebook like this. Well, in fact, it'll even save your place. Let's take a few pages. So now I could start right there, save my place. Put your little binder clip on your notebook. And then you take your favorite pen and you clip it through that window sheet. And look, you have a pen holder for your notebook that also saves your place inside your notebook. Is that not adorable? I thought that was great. Okay, now I have to tell you too, the lady that I saw make them, who used the hot glue gun, used like a faux leather. And I was trying to keep it all Stampin' Up products, and that's why I decided to use the window sheet, and I really like the look of it. And if you look, it's not going to come off of that binder clip. It's really stuck on there. And I tried to make it so several different pen sizes would fit in there, just like that. So again, if you're looking for measurements, because I'm not going to put it on my gallery. Usually you can go to my gallery and find the measurements, but the window sheet is 2 inches by 3/4. That's just how big the binder clip is. And then the designer series paper is that 3/4 inches this way, and it covers that binder clip by 3/8 inch that way. Alrighty, that's what I have for you today. If you're at OnStage, come and find me so you can get your own little binder clip pen holder thingy for your notebook. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me, and I hope to see you soon. But I will be back here next Monday, fresh back from OnStage, and I'll be sharing a bunch of my swaps. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.